Now we're going to look at probability. Probability measures how likely to occur an event is. You can express probabilities as percents, 0 through 100%, or as real numbers 0 through 1. The probability of an impossible event is 0 or 0%. Can't happen. The probability of a certain event, which means it must happen, is the probability of 1 or 100%. We're going to begin by looking at an experimental probability. Each observation is called an experiment or a trial. Here's what experimental probability is. We say the probability of an event equals the number of times it happens over the total number of times we tried the event. Think about this. Flipping a coin. If we flip the coin 5 times, the total opportunities for that event were 5. Let's say we want to know the probability of heads. Probability of heads. Well, what we know is in the probability of heads, let's say 2 times we got heads and 3 times we got tails. So the probability of getting heads is 2 out of the possible 5 times. A baseball player got a hit 21 times in 60 at-bats. So the player got 21 hits, and they were up to the plate 60 times. Let's find the experimental probability of his getting a hit. So again, we write that as P for probability, and this time we're looking at getting a hit. How many times did his event, or what we wanted, happen? The hit? 21 times. How many total times did he get up to take the chance of whether or not he would get a hit? 60. So 21 divided by 60, plugging that into the calculator, we get 0.35. Move the decimal 2 places for a percent, and that is 35%. Let's talk about a basketball player. A basketball player went to the free throw line 50 times. Of those 50 times, he made 32 free throws. Let's find the experimental probability of the basketball player making a free throw. So, probability of, we'll call it a basket, means that it went into the basket, would be, how many times did it actually happen? 32. How many times could it have happened? How many times did the event happen? 50. Plug that into the calculator, we get 0.64 or 64%. Now, we have been looking at experimental probability, meaning we take the data from an event that actually happened, an experiment that we may have run, and figured out the probability of getting heads versus tails, or free throws in basketball, or hits in baseball. It is something we actually experimented with. Now we're going to take a look at something called theoretical probability. In theoretical probability, it's very similar to experimental probability. The difference is here we're going to look at the probability before we actually do anything. Something like rolling a dice. What is the probability of getting a 1 when you roll a dice? The probability of the event, we look at the outcomes desired, such as rolling a 1, versus the outcomes possible. Again, let's say that we're looking at rolling a die. What is the probability of rolling a 1? Well, the total outcomes are rolling a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. So there are 6 possible outcomes. We desire only the 1. So the probability is 1 over 6. Now let's take a look at the probability of rolling an even number. Again, we're still rolling a die, so we still have 6 possible outcomes. And our even numbers are 2, 4, and 6. So of those 6 sides, 3 of them are our desired outcome. So our probability of rolling an even number is 3 over 6, 1/2 in lowest terms, 0.5 as a decimal, or 50% as a percentage. We are still looking at what we want, or what we're trying to measure, versus the total amount. When looking at probability, those are our key things we're looking for.